Guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Danielle and I am the owner of Damn Fancy Creations. If you guys are new to my channel, I do want to let you know that you can catch my content in two other places. I have a large tutorial group on Facebook as well as a smaller patron group where I offer free files, exclusive discounts, and group challenges each month. If those sound like something you guys want to check out, I will link the info in the description. For today's tutorial, we are going to be doing another striped tumbler. I really enjoy doing striped tumblers. I just think there are so many different ways that you guys can kind of dress them up, change the look of them, all kinds of stuff. This tumbler actually ended up a little bit different than how I planned. The stripes were definitely how I wanted to go, but my plan was to do like a faux bleach spot on the tumbler and add a water slide, but I was completely out of water slide, so I opted to use printable vinyl, and I just decided to go ahead and film this for you guys, even though things did not turn out how I wanted them to, or maybe my original plan did not follow through, just to show you guys that if you run into a problem, then there are always ways to fix it, maybe change the look a little bit. And I actually really like how this tumbler turned out better than what my original idea was. So if you guys are ready to see how I did this fun striped fall tumbler, let's get started. So this tutorial is going to start just like any others with a prepped tumbler spray painted white. These are our two glitter colors. It is Pineapple Ginger Punch and Pumpkin Spice Martini from the Drunk Flamingo. And then we're going to need some painter's tape. If you guys have watched any of my striped tutorials, this is going to be pretty much the same beginning as all of them, where we are going to tape basically all the way down our cup. I do try to get my tape as straight as possible, just so my stripes are pretty even. Our second piece of tape is going to be applied directly beneath the first piece. And then our third piece of tape is going to be applied directly beneath the second one. Then we will remove the second piece. This is basically just our spacer, so that our glittered lines are going to be even. And we will do this all the way down the cup. If you guys have watched my spray painted plaid video, this is also how I start my spray painted plaid cups. The last piece I'm just kind of eyeballing because it really is not even a full space for tape. It's just like a 1/4 of an inch that I have to cover at the bottom. But I do just make sure it's all even all the way around. I do smooth my tape down pretty well. I don't want any drips. So for the first stripes, we're going to be using Pumpkin Spice Martini, and I'm going to be applying it with clear spray paint. I'm going to put my tumbler on my noodle. This is how I spray paint all of my cups. And I am going to use Rustoleum 2 times clear. And pretty much just spray the entire tumbler with the clear spray paint. I do try to use the gloss versus matte because the matte does dry a lot quicker than gloss spray. So this has already been sprayed, and I'm just going to take my glitter and sprinkle it all over the white stripes that I just sprayed with the clear spray paint. If I could use the clear spray to apply both glitter colors, I definitely would, but I can't necessarily cover up this glitter with tape, so I can only use it for one glitter color. So since this glitter is made up of gold and opal iridescent colors, I am going to do a second coat just to get a little bit more of that gold color throughout the stripes and make it a little bit more even. So this is after the second coat of glitter and sealing it with Rustoleum. So once all of this is dry, I am going to peel off my tape if I can find the edges to peel up. It was kind of difficult to find the tape edges. I usually kind of bend a little piece back to make it a little bit more easier to see where the edges overlap, but I forgot. And if you guys watched my V-split pumpkin tutorial where I also used this color, you will already know that I think this color, it reminds me of graham cracker crumbs. Like you just poured some sparkly graham cracker crumbs on your tumbler. So we're just peeling this tape off, and I really wish that I could just tape off the glitter, and I may try that one day just because it is pretty hard once it's sealed and dried. But for now, we're just going to use the dreaded Mod Podge. And it's funny, like watching videos back, you think of things that, oh, I should have done that differently. And what I typically do is when I use Mod Podge, I typically tint it with acrylic paint or dispersion colors or ink or something to match whatever glitter color I am using. And I did not do that this time. So I did have to do 2 coats of this green irregular cut glitter. I also try to find a paintbrush that is the same width as whatever stripes I'm doing. It just makes it a little bit easier to apply and get a smooth surface. And you guys can already see the white through this glitter. That is why I typically would tint it with green paint or something. I don't know why I didn't think about that this time. It's probably because I hadn't used Mod Podge to apply a darker color glitter in forever because I don't use it that much. But after doing it, I remember that I should have done it a different way. So we're just going to speed this up a little bit. And then we have to get our bottoms. And when this dried, I did go back and do a second coat. So I just wanted to show you guys that this is what the glitter looks like with just one coat. You can definitely see the white tumbler underneath it. You know, if you don't want to tint your paint, you could have also spray painted these stripes green and applied this glitter first, then removed the tape and then applied the golden glitter. But I typically do just tint it, or you can just add another layer if that's what you want to do as well. So we're just going back over the same stripes after the first layer of Mod Podge dried, and just touching up those stripes so that no white is seen. And once you get all of your little stripes or bare spots touched up, I will set this aside, let it dry for typically 24 hours, especially with as much Mod Podge as I have on this cup. And once that is dry, I will put it on my turner for the first coat of epoxy. Since we're using irregular cut glitter, it can apply an additional coat of epoxy before we apply our vinyl. So you can see here with the light reflecting that they are pretty smooth now. So we are ready to apply our vinyl. So I just have a bunch of vinyl lines cut out and nail tape. So I just kind of picked one that I already had. This, I believe, is the textured vinyl from Cricut. And I am just going to apply this directly where the green irregular cut and the gold fine glitter meet. And since I didn't really have a ton of excess vinyl, I just kind of smoothed it around the rest of the vinyl line. And since this vinyl is already textured, you don't necessarily notice where they cross or meet. Some vinyl that's a little bit more noticeable, but this one was not. So we are just going to do this all the way down our cup. And once all of our vinyl is on, it is time for our next step. So this is what I was telling you guys earlier, where I was going to use water slide to apply my image, but I did not have any water slide, so I had to make adjustments. So this was the image I was going to cut out of water slide and just apply it on the tumbler, but I decided to cut out each word in printable vinyl, and I'm going to apply one word to each stripe. And I actually like this a lot better because you don't have a big contrasting white spot on the cup. Some of them I don't mind, but I don't think that I would have liked it too well on this cup. So I'm kind of glad that I ran out of water slide. Oh, and I do want to point out, you guys can see the rim of my tumbler right now, that I do sand the rims before I apply my vinyl. So I take off about 2 millimeters so the stainless is showing. And one of my backings was stuck on my letter, so I had to peel that off real quick. And this was actually, I believe, my first time using transfer tape to actually apply printable vinyl, and it worked out pretty well. If you have extremely sticky transfer tape, it may not work as well. I'm not sure if it would remove colors from the vinyl. I don't know. But mine is probably like a medium stickiness, and it worked out pretty well. And I do buy the transfer tape with lines. I really like this. That way you can line up your words right along the lines of the transfer tape, so you know that everything is going to be as straight as you can get it. And the reason why my printable vinyl is still stuck to my cutting mat is because I typically have my settings to cut printable vinyl out like a sticker, so I can just take the sticker, peel it off, stick it on my cup. And I didn't even think about all of these tiny little letters that are going to need to be cut. So I should have changed my setting so my blade did not cut all the way through the printable vinyl and just left the sheet whole. But you can still make it work. And then these tweezers from CCDIY are great at getting out any little pieces that may be stuck in there that you don't want. So we are just going to do this for all of the other words. And this stripe, I will tell you guys, was a little too close. I applied it on the gold a little too much. So I did remove the stripe and move it down a little bit. That way my word would fit nicely in between those two vinyl strips. Because remember, the last one we just kind of eyeballed when I applied my painter's tape, so I should have moved it down just a little bit. And once we have all of our vinyl on our tumblers, I will put it on the turner and apply a layer of quick coat, but I'm really only applying the quick coat to seal the textured vinyl. For some reason, this particular vinyl likes to resist epoxy. If I was not using this vinyl, there would be no need to seal, because you do not need to seal printable vinyl before you epoxy. So once the quick coat dries, I will apply 2 additional coats of epoxy. I always apply 2 coats of epoxy over any vinyl or decals that I do, but this is how it turned out. I love how it looks. I think it gives off a vintage fall feel, which I really like. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and I cannot wait to see what inspiration you guys draw from this and what cups you create. If y'all enjoyed this tutorial or learned something new, please be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Don't forget to catch the next video coming up that was picked just for you. As always, if you're looking for more tips, tricks, and tutorials, be sure to check out my tutorial group on Facebook or my Patreon group. Both are linked in the description.